Hey, how y'all doing? Just came from the gym. Some things just crossed my mind. Probably been crossing my mind all week, but April is usually a rough month. So I decided to share. Uh, one, relationships, and two, kind of capacity. Relationships is definitely that funny thing. Uh, Relationship with a seed to the soil, bring forth fruits, plants, trees. Uh, Relationship with a child and a parents, biblically speaking, helps you to be, wishes you a long life and to be fruitful. Relationship with your money to the bank, bring forth interest, stable life, if you will, help your money to grow. Relationship between anything, when kind of symbiotic, usually goes well. And sometimes, we have outside entities realizing that your blessings comes from relationships, so it intervenes and it messes with those relationships, breaks up friendship, breaks up marriages, because sometimes the Lord blesses you through those relationships. So if you take a look at your life and you see, or you start to look at it like, hey, why can't I get along with this thing? Why can't I get along from that person? It could be intervention from outer sources that kind of blocking you from your blessings. I also heard something crazy this week as well from Bishop. And when I say Bishop, I mean T.D. Jakes. He kind of mentioned, it's like oftentimes we say the devil is intervening in our lives. And be like, hey, that ain't nothing but the devil work. But he kind of broke it down, kind of hurt some people's feelings, and said it's like, hey, you're not even doing enough of the Lord's work to even be on the devil's radar. So some of the things that are going on in your life is strictly because of your doing or lack of doing. So that was kind of humbling as well. Your relationship between you and the Lord either brings forth blessings or bring forth, attention from other kind of things. So just mind those relationships. And relationships can be definitely a good thing when you pick the right person, and relationships can definitely be a bad thing. Sometimes you just got to cut those off as well. Capacity lends into your relationship as well, which is why they always advise that you be equally yoked with whoever you get into a relationship with, or make sure that they have the capacity for when you start pouring into them, they can hold all of you or grow with you and to then hold. So if you are a one leader person, if we're using kind of measurement, but you dating a half leader person, every time you pour yourself into that person, there's going to be an overflow, and that person is not going to be able to handle or understand or receive whatever it is you pour into them, because they strictly don't have the capacity. When it's time for them to reciprocate, they only have half of what you have, and you always find yourself to remain empty or unfulfilled. And then you start to measure, well, hey, if I can do this for you, if I can do this for the family, how come you can't? But that person doesn't have the capacity to. You should have known that before you got into that relationship, But something for you to consider is that half leader, or all that person is giving you, is it their all? And if it is not their all, then I could understand expectation. You could expect more, you can demand more, whatever it is. But if that person is giving you their all, which is only half a liter, just realize how frustrating it is to that person when they're giving their all and that person still is not satisfied with their all. Your all and your spouse's all, or your friends' all, your boss's all, or your kids' all is different. So you have to understand all is all. But if you're not giving me all of you, then we can have problems in that relationship. So understanding capacity, the capacity of a person to contribute within your life, within the relationship. Often people keep requiring stuff that people just don't have. breaking relationships. My relationship with my parents is not so good because they didn't love me as I believe I was supposed to. They gave you their all. They didn't know how to do what you required of them. They didn't necessarily have that skill or that knowledge. It's the same thing of the husband, the boyfriend, the kid, or whatever it is. And if we keep expecting things of individuals that they don't have the capacity to give, it affects those relationships, and we miss out on that person's all. We miss out on their greatness. We miss out on their love. We miss out on a whole bunch of things that they are given, but we're not really acceptant of because we're busy expecting more. So again, equally yoked, find people with your capacity, so when they give their all, you recognize what their all looks like, instead of getting people. And then we're not talking about people that don't have promise and potential. If you see that potential and you can manifest that potential or help that person nurture that potential, hey, go for it. But if that person just don't have it, know that going in, so your expectation is somewhat managed. So relationships, look at that relationships, look at some of the relationships that you have in your life, see the benefit of them, see the disadvantage of them, and if there needs to be watered, fertilized, go forth and do so. If they need to end, you got to make that decision. Capacity, understand the capacity of the individuals, because we just don't come with those labels. I don't walk around with a label and say, well, hey, my capacity is half of yours. When you see me, I don't have that warning sign that say, oh, hey, this individual is broken, or this is the baggage that this individual is coming with, which is why you need to spend the time to get to know individuals before you start investing in them, whether it be time, money, love, spirituality, whatever it is. So those two things that kind of crossed the mind this week. Those are my 2 cents. If I am off in my understanding, I appreciate someone, to share their perception or their understanding with me about capacity or one's relationship with one thing to another to be fruitful. Y'all be great. Enjoy the week.